the technology so that I would acknowledge him.
Oh, and now Instagram is working fine.
You see?
Not an issue at all.
Of course, because I've acknowledged Wayne Dyer. So for those of you who've just tuned in on Instagram, I started this video and then it glitched on me, and we realized it's because I didn't acknowledge Wayne Dyer. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Wayne. We miss you, we love you, and see, now that I've acknowledged you, everything's going smoothly. He always messes with technology to remind me of things. He's always done that at events. He makes the lights flash when I talk about him, and sometimes when I'm supposed to give him credit for something and I've forgotten, he makes the lights flash, or he makes the picture on the projector disappear. He'll do something.
Lots of people are saying happy birthday, Wayne, in the comments now.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday. He was mischievous in life, and he's still mischievous on the other side. So the reason I popped in today is because I have a couple of things that I just had this urge to share. And the last couple of days, for some reason, I have been feeling the presence of my dog who crossed over many years ago, Cosmo, beautiful Cosmo. I'll post a photo of him later at some point. I've been feeling his presence around me. And so I've been thinking about him a lot. And I wanted to tell everybody who has pets that have crossed over that your pets are safe on the other side. This is a question that comes up from time to time, where people ask me about their pets. I know that our pets are fine and they're safe on the other side, and they're waiting for us, and they'll be there when we cross over, because I still feel Cosmo. I feel him, like just his energy, his tail. He used to have this big tail that used to wag, and you could just feel it brushing against you. But it was like a fan. It would create a breeze that would knock things over as he walked by the coffee table. But Cosmo, so many of you who know my story of when I was going through my illness all those years ago, and I had terminal cancer, there wasn't, and all of you know that Danny was by my side throughout my whole journey. But Danny wasn't the only one. The other one was Cosmo. He was by my side, and when I was in the hospital, I would really, really miss him because he wasn't allowed to come to the hospital to see me. And eventually, when I was actually allowed to go out into the hospital grounds and go all the way to the car where our car was, my family would sneak Cosmo in the car just so I could go to the car and give him a hug and see him before going back into the hospital and going back to my bed. So I'm going to post a couple of photos later after doing this video. So I wanted to just assure everyone that your pets are safe and they're fine and they're happy. They're totally happy. And I think what triggered this for me is that just 3 days ago, my family, my brother, my mom, my nephew, they have a family dog in their home in India, and their family dog just passed 3 days ago. And I just got that news and I was like, oh, and I started to miss Cosmo. The other thing that I really had a desire to share today about the other side is that this morning, I was doing a live video on my online platform, which I call The Sanctuary. So I have this online membership platform. And I was doing a live video for my audience together with John Holland. I don't know if, I'm sure, in fact, many of you know who John Holland is. He's a renowned medium, and he speaks to people on the other side. So he speaks to the other side. I've been to the other side. So we've become really good friends because we compare notes. We actually confirm each other's findings of the other side. He confirms a lot of what I experienced from the other side, and I'm able to confirm a lot of things that he's learning speaking to spirit. And one of the things that transpired this morning is, as we were addressing my audience, one lady mentioned that she had heard from another medium, another psychic medium, that her deceased loved one on the other side was suffering, and they were suffering due to certain things that took place in this life, and they were struggling. And so John was absolutely able to confirm something as well that I have been saying since I had my near-death experience, is that suffering is a here thing. It's not a there thing. You do not suffer on the other side. And I have said this so many times, but that is what I experience, and that is what I know without a doubt, because there's no way that from what I saw and what I experienced, that it would be different for different people. The universe is benevolent. It is not cruel. Everything we learn about cruelty and darkness and revenge and punishment and all of these things, payback, they're all part of here. When you cross over, even if you have an NDE and you cross over for a short period of time, you get this understanding where you know that it's not possible to be outside of this realm of duality, and to be in that realm of oneness. You know without a doubt that suffering and punishment and all these things cannot exist, because who is inflicting it? Because it's all you. Everything, everyone is connected to you. It's you here is really an expression of the all that is that's there. And so there is nobody there to inflict anything on you, to inflict harm on you, or judgment, or punishment, or karma, and all these things that we learn over here. And there is so much more that I can speak about on this, which I have done in past videos and in my books and in my events. But what I want to assure you of more than anything is that your deceased loved ones, no matter how they passed, whether they were suffering here, whether they took their own life prematurely, whatever they did, they are not suffering right now. They are understanding why they did what they did. And for those of you who have experienced cruelty from other people, and then those people cross over, even though they are not suffering, they are learning and understanding how they could have done it differently. They are their own judge. They are their own jury. So it's not that they will just, it's not that people just do cruel things and then nothing happens. No, you do start to understand why you did what you did. But our deceased loved ones, if any of them have taken their own life because they were suffering here, they are not still suffering there. I don't like to say that other people, other mediums or other psychics are wrong. I don't like to say that. I don't like to say that I'm the only one that has the handle on truth. That's not the case. But it's just that when you have had a glimpse of the other side, you kind of understand that that's a different reality where there is no room for punishment and revenge and all these things to exist, because you need duality for these things to take place. That's what I really want to say. And also I want to turn to Abby and or Danny. By the way, Danny's behind the scenes right now as well. I want to turn to you guys and just say, if there's any comments that are interesting or any burning questions, please feel free to shout them out.
Danny's my apprentice for the day.
Yes, he is.
But I actually, someone on Facebook, I missed their name, but they were saying they work as a medium as well, and they also disagree. They were like, there's no suffering on the other side. They were in with John and me. Exactly.
So they're disagreeing with that medium and not with John and me.
And they're saying other side is wonderful. You don't. And a couple people were saying, you might need a second to adjust to what's happening on the other side.
Yes.
But
I think that when we perceive that they're suffering, if you are intuitive or you're a medium and you perceive they're suffering, it's probably that initial stage where they're still attached to this side and the beliefs, the entrenched beliefs that come with being on this side. But once they've fully transcended, fully crossed over, there is no suffering. And even when you're in that situation of between life and death, and you're still crossing over, and maybe you're suffering because of events in this side, and you're still attached and there's some suffering, what happens is our guides, our deceased loved ones, they step in and they help us through that transition, and they don't leave us until we make it all the way across to that point where we see that we have left the Maya behind. We have left the illusion of this world behind. And in that world, there truly is no suffering. And yet, what's interesting is when we're in that world for a long time, we start to get, I use this metaphorically, we start to get itchy feet, and we want to come back here and experience life all over again. We actually choose to come here. Now, what I'm really excited about right now is that John and I are actually planning a cruise together, and I'd love for you to join me if you're able to. It's going to be on November 3rd to 12th of this year. We're going to the Southern Caribbean. It's a Southern Caribbean cruise. We're going to some beautiful exotic Caribbean islands, and we have called our cruise event Journeying Beyond the Veil. It's a 9-day event where not only will you get to experience a beautiful new luxurious cruise ship, as well as everything it has to offer and the ports of call, but in addition, you will also get to experience everything that we speak about, like more than 18 hours of teachings and mediumship, where the focus will be on learning more about the other side, about learning about the signs, how our deceased loved ones communicate with us, what happens when you cross over, what does it mean. You learn about our interpretation of reincarnation, of religion, and of course John will be doing some mediumship as well and doing some readings. And it's going to be a very, very uplifting cruise, because both John and I know that the other side is not scary. It's very, very uplifting. And who knows, maybe you'll get an opportunity to connect with your deceased loved ones or your higher self or your guides, because we will be going on spiritual journeys, internal journeys, where you will be learning to and getting the opportunity to connect with your guides. And one thing I realized is that, it seems very opulent and lavish to go on a cruise. I realized it's actually not as costly as I thought, which is why I decided to do it, because you get 9 days, you get food and board, and you get all the learnings. And in fact, I thought, wow, this is actually better value than doing it at a retreat event. But speaking of retreat events, I know 9 days is a long commitment. For those of you that can't do the 9-day commitment, I do have another retreat coming up next month, round the corner in June in Scottsdale, Arizona, called From Healing to Whole. And I'd love to see you there, particularly if you're dealing with physical challenges and things like that. We are going to do some journeys that help you to go through it and to see what it is in your life that has accumulated to cause you to be going through what you're going through. Because one of the things that happened to me when I was in my near-death experience, I realized that the physical challenges that I was dealing with did not happen to me overnight. It was a cumulative effect, an accumulation of a series of events, emotional, physical, traumatical events, accumulated over a number of years. And in that state of clarity on the other side, I was able to see what it was that led up to that point where I was dying. And the reason I share what I share is so that people don't have to go through what I went through. I wish I knew then what I know now. And if I did, I don't think I ever would have got sick. I don't think I would have needed to die. And that's why I share what I share. Any questions, Abby?
So we had Bonnie who on Instagram who says that she's coming on the cruise. So we can't wait to see you, Bonnie.
Yay!
And then for everyone else who's asking, if you go to Anita's website, anitamoorjani.com/upcoming events, you can find both the upcoming Phoenix, Scottsdale retreat and the cruise. Or you can go to anitamoorjanicruise.com to find out all about the cruise in November.
Yay! So, and whether you can make it to my events or not, stay tuned because I do keep updating. I do keep appearing on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. So, and please check in to my YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please follow me on social media. Thank you all so much. And I hope to see you in my next video or live physically so that we can actually give each other a hug. Thank you all so much. Love you all. See you all soon. Bye.